Today's class has a really wonderful balance sequence as the peak moment and some challenging shoulder stuff. So we are going to take some extra time to warm up our wrists, warm up our shoulders, warm up our ankles and our hips so that we can have a lot of success and a lot of fun as the class culminates. So with that, we can begin. Take a moment to close the eyes if they're not already. And just take some inventory of the body and the mind. Just recognizing if it's easy to land here in your body right now, or if you need just a little extra help by way of the breath. And without altering the breath, just try to observe the breath. And if the mind is feeling busy, even observing the breath can be extremely challenging, so be really compassionate with yourself and just trust that any little bit of effort you bring to become more present will make you happier and clearer, more functional. Not just in our yoga class, but all the time. And allow the body to relax slightly, softening through the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. You can wiggle around a little bit just to assess if anywhere else feels tight, and try to direct the breath to those areas. Not in a forceful way, but just almost bringing a little extra awareness to those places. And as these little or big areas soften, just notice if your breath changes at all. Perhaps there's a sense of less doership, a little more softness. Just trust that the breath will continue to come and go, and you don't need to control it. And then as we prepare to move a little bit, just see if you can keep this gentle observation of the breath while we juggle an additional ball, so to speak. If you're following along with our playlist, you're welcome to hit play on the first track, and of course just make sure it's set to repeat because it will take us through the whole warm-up round of our sequence. So let's start with the left leg in front, and because we're balancing, we want to take some extra time to awaken the feet. And so just take a moment to lift the left foot, and you want this to be comfortable. So if lifting the foot feels really tight in the low back, see if you can adjust a little bit or fold forward slightly, bend the knee a little bit more, and just start to brush one hand over the sole of the foot. And so with this exercise, the most important part is the awareness that you bring to the sensation. So you can even close the eyes and just imagine all of your awareness resting in the sole of the foot, taking in the sensation of your fingers brushing over the skin. And then gently squeeze each toe, and more importantly, feel each toe being squeezed. The magic is really in the awareness. This isn't just a foot massage, though you get all of those same benefits, but the most important benefit is letting these sensory receptors in the feet start to wake up, start to feel, give you more input, so that when you're balancing on one leg and you're flying through space later in class, the sole of the foot can send signals all the way up the leg to all the muscles in the leg and the hips, so that the whole body can respond to better support you. And all that information comes via the foot. So maybe you can even find a little bit of love and appreciation for how tremendously intelligent your feet are. And allow the hands to walk up and down the feet a couple of times. Again, feeling more with the sole of the feet than with the fingers. Imagine you're trying to map out every single bone in the foot. You want to feel all of that nuance, the shape, the length, how thick, how thin. If you find an area that feels tender, be kind to yourself, but you're welcome to give a little extra attention. And then pay a little extra attention to the heel, and you can circle the foot a couple of times. Notice the ankle bones as you're circling the foot. And then place the sole of the left foot off to the side. Take a gentle twist into the foot, and as you untwist, plant the right hand, push into the left foot, and just notice any sense of contact the foot's making with the earth to help lift the pelvis. Set everything down, and just do that a couple of times. Probably remember this from last week. And move as slowly as you need to feel the movement originating at the foot, pushing down with the foot and then letting knee, hip, arm follow. Just like a chain reaction. And the next time you twist into the leg, gently lift the leg, give it a little rock as long as that feels okay on the low back, and then pull it in so the right leg can unfurl slightly and come in front. Hey Mel, welcome. We just massaged the left foot, so if you want to do a quicker massage of both feet, this is your shot. And so now we'll say hello to the right foot. And same thing, so you can ignore me and just go at your own pace. And then I'm going to tell you many times to keep feeling. So start with just grazing the sole of the foot, and changing the amount of pressure actually can help us wake up more mechanoreceptors as we become interested and curious about all these different sensations. So try the most minimal pressure ever. Almost as if like a tiny ant was crawling over the sole of the foot. And you're welcome to explore that all over the whole foot. The majority of what we're waking up is in the ankle and the sole of the foot, but anywhere is fair game. And then try bringing a little more pressure, as long as you can, still feel. Start mapping out the bones. Notice the shape of the arch of the foot. And then eventually lift the leg a little bit so you can circle the ankle, give the heel some squeezes. You might notice the different sensation of the tissue in the heel, that just built-in padding, which is very helpful. You can bring the hands to the ankle bones and just notice the space underneath them changing as the foot rotates. Give a couple last squeezes or sweeps, and then place the sole of the right foot off to the side and feel it contacting the earth. Gently start to twist to the right, lengthening as you twist. And then push into the right foot. Notice a sense of engagement traveling up the back of the right leg as you unfurl to the left, push down into the leg, slowly allowing the foot to lift the knee, and then the hip, lengthen the side body, and then the arm just spills out of the torso. Hips down and twist. And then take this at your own pace and become very interested in the sole of the foot and the information that's starting to travel up from the sole of the foot via the retinaculum, which wraps around the ankle. I'm really excited about anatomy right now, so I'm sorry if I'm nerding out. That's for you wisdom trainees. You know all about the retinaculum. The next time you twist, pause there for a moment, and then just gently lift the right leg, give the hip a little circle, and place the right leg in front. That's where our sequence will begin, and just pause for a moment at center, and again, close the eyes and notice if the feet feel just a little more alive or awakened. As we move through our sequence, just every so often, check in with the feet and imagine just absorbing information up through the pathways of the feet. And so hands to the thighs. We'll start with some gentle circles. And just like we did with the feet, bring your awareness to the sits bones. And as you rotate here, just notice the pressure changing as it moves from the front to one side, to the back, to the other side. And it doesn't matter how big these circles are, but try to make them really smooth and fluid. And if anything feels tight or disjointed, try smaller circles and see if that helps. Can go the opposite direction and perhaps start small and let the movement grow as the hip sockets warm. And as you know by now, we'll be coming back to this movement to start every round. So you'll have a chance to go deeper. You don't have to rush that. The next time you come up through center, pause for a moment, and we'll repeat that movement that we did just a moment ago. So plant the sole of the right foot off to the side. Nice easy twist to the right, lengthening the spine as you spiral from the bottom up. Gaze to the right if it feels good. And then notice that sense of the body being wound up, and gently allow the body to unwind towards the left. Plant the left hand. Press into knee and foot to gently lift the hips. And then set the hips down, stack the legs. We're going to skip our mermaid down dog, that's the new name for that pose, until the second round. So just plant the hands over to the left and notice if the spine is okay with this gentle twist. Everybody looks good. If I can't see you, then you're on your own, but everyone I can see looks great. So let's explore the hands a little bit. Just start pawing out the hands slightly. If at any point the twist is too much, you can come to tabletop instead. And so imagine you have horseshoes on your hands, just like a horse would, and it goes from the thumb to the base all the way up the pinky side. And this is where we're most interested in making contact with the earth. So it's okay if the center of the palm and the middle three knuckles all come away from the mat. Satyam's saying it's a shaka shoe. That's way better than a horseshoe. Horseshoes are way too clunky. So you got shaka shoes on your hands. And so just notice a sense of spaciousness in the hand, almost like your hand has an arch, just like your foot. And paw out the hands a couple more times, and then bring a little extra weight into the left hand. So even hover the right, and bend the left elbow a couple of times. And as you do this, bring your awareness to your shoulder blade, and just try to feel a little bit of support on the back of the shoulder. And you can even take some hops You've got shoes on your hands, so you might as well jump with your hands too, right? Nice. Yeah, and let this be as natural as possible. As you land, the hand's going to go right where it wants to. So if you can get out of the way, you'll feel more and more support in the shoulder. And the next time the hand lands, pause, replant the right hand, push down into both to slowly lift the knees and let them glide underneath you for tabletop. And then lower the right elbow underneath you, and then the left. And then come back to your right hand foot, and then the left. And we're going to repeat that a few times just to keep building some awareness in the shoulders. I like my elbows right underneath my shoulders when I'm on my forearms, but you can try a little bit wider, a little bit further forward, and become very interested not just in the front of the body. You might feel this a lot in the chest, but also the back of the body. The next time you come up to the hands, we'll do a couple of rounds of cat-cow, but in a way that might be a little bit new to some of you. So let the movement initiate from the hands. This will start by dragging the hands towards the knees without actually moving them, and a little bit wider. As you do that, let the belly drop, slightly gaze up, and just notice any sensation waking up in the shoulders. And then start to push the hands forward and slightly together. And as you do that, round the spine, gaze towards the belly button for cat pose. And take a few more of these, letting the movement start at the hands. And this is going to wake up a lot more in the front and the back of the shoulder. It's also going to allow the arms and shoulders to integrate all the way into the front of the core and the back of the core. The next time you're pushing the hands away, pause there. Bend the elbows a little bit. Take a couple of pulses in the elbow and just notice as you push into the hands and extend the elbows, a sense of support through the front of the body. And then as you rock forward and drag the hands back and wide into cow, notice anything waking up in the back of the body. And just do one more round of that. And then bring the legs together and flatten the tops of the feet like our mermaid pose from last week. Gently push it down into the tops of the feet. Let the knees hover any amount. It doesn't have to be dramatic if it doesn't feel good. And then as soon as the knees drop down, let the left leg reach out and the right arm reach forward. And do that a couple of times. So from table, hover the knees. And then as the knees release, let that momentum just travel through left arm and right hand. We're going to stay on the same side for every repetition. And so just have a sense of that energy traveling out through the arms once the knees land. The next time, left leg's back and right arms forward. Pause there. Lower the left foot to a half plank. Push down a little extra into the left hand and just draw a big circle with the right arm. And we'll do that one more time. So as you circle back around, drop the right hand, bring the left leg in, hover the knees, and then drop the knees, left leg back, right arm forward, tuck the left toes under, and just one circle. Plant the right hand, tuck the right toes under, hover the left leg, and slowly drag the left knee on a shelf forward towards the left shoulder. And extend the left leg and do this a couple of times. You've probably heard this called fire hydrant pose, which I really don't like, but you know what it is, so I have to say that. And we'll do a few rounds of this. This warms up gluteus medius, which is really going to help us with our balance later. The next time the left knee slides forward, set the foot outside of the hands and let the hips soften for a moment towards the mat. Make some nice, easy circles with the hips, just allowing the femurs to gently rotate in the hip socket. Don't worry about trying to get a stretch or anything. Go the opposite direction. And then bring the hips to neutral and gently bow forward, allowing the spine to spill out of the pelvis. Push down into the front foot and the back knee. Guide the hips forward so one vertebra stacks at a time. The head and neck come up last, and then allow the arms to float up any amount. And then we'll reverse that. So send the hips back slightly. Pelvis tips, spine melts. The front leg can extend or stay bent, whatever feels best for you. And then push down into back knee and front foot. Let that signal slowly level the pelvis and then the spine above that. We're going to take a few more of these just to wake up that connection from the legs up to the upper body. Can add in any movements that feel good here. Just keep it really simple. The next time you come up, pause there. Bring the left foot in and back slightly so you've got a really short stance. That's going to help us feel really stable. And slowly start to spiral towards the left leg, away from the screen. And release, and just take a couple of those gentle twists. This part's really similar to last week. I think we have almost everyone from last week. And so you can always feel free to move ahead as the body feels ready. The next time you twist, pause there and fold a little lower and twist a little bit more. So there's a sense of really bringing a lot of support online on that left leg and the left side of the core. Hover the right knee and then slowly shift the weight into the left foot and step the right foot forward in Tadasana. Way to go. Pause in Tadasana for a moment. Place the right foot off to the right side and just roll around on the ankle a couple of times. I'm going to turn just in case you can't see from the side. And then go the opposite direction, and it's okay if that feels really awkward and hard. It means, yay, it's awesome for your brain, your neurological pathways. And then whenever you feel ready, you can go to the other leg. This is going to help with our mermaid down dogs. Anyone else toe had a crack? Mine just cracked. I don't know how I felt about that actually. And then come to center, walk the feet together. Bend the knees, place the hands on the thighs. Similar idea, but for the knees. And just allow the hips and the ankles to follow, trusting that they're going to help you find as much balance and support in the joints as possible. Go the opposite direction. And then bend the knees, melt over the legs, plant the hands, step the feet back to plank. Lift the left knee into the chest and imagine it like a pendulum. Let it swing from side to side. And then as it swings towards the right side of your mat, set the knee down, lower the hips, and bring the right leg inside for Sukhasana. And just pause at center. Notice anything feeling tingly and alive in the body. And then we'll go through that same sequence on the second side. And anything that was symmetrical, we might skip or go through a little faster. So we'll start with some nice spinal circles. Bring awareness to the hip sockets as you move. Just noticing a sense of fluidity, making sure nothing feels tight or intense if you go too far. Go the opposite direction. And then left leg plants off to the side. Nice easy twist to the left. unfurl to the right, plant the right hand, push down into the right knee and the left foot, slowly letting everything stack and fill for our flash dance pose. And then gently lower the hips, stack the legs, and twist to the right, planting both hands to the right hand side. Take a few paws with your paws. Let the elbows and shoulders feel really nice and supple. Try walking the hands in a little bit and then walking them out, and just notice how the sensation in the shoulders changes slightly. You might feel it more in the front, more in the back, depending on where the arms are. And then walk them forward once again as if you were in tabletop. If your knees were down, lower one elbow at a time and then come back up to your paws. And next time you've got the hands on the ground, push down into the hands. Slowly slide the knees underneath you for tabletop. Keep the flats of the feet down. And we'll take a little pulse with the knees. As the knees lift, pause. And then as the knees drop, right leg shoots out, left arm follows. And then let's repeat that a few times. So from table, you hover the knees. And then as the knees drop, it's almost like there's so much energy it needs somewhere to go. The right leg, or right leg, left arm, express that. Take a couple of pulses. And the next time, arm and leg extend, tuck the right toes, half plank, and draw a big circle with the left arm so it reaches forward and then up and back. And when it's up, you might notice a little extra weight in the right arm, so make any adjustments with the wrist and shoulder for that to be comfortable. And the next time the left arm comes down, we'll take a couple of our knee slides forward. Every class I'm like, oh, I have to think of a new name. Feel free to submit names. You might win a prize. The next time the knee slides forward, step it outside of the hands, hips melt, nice easy circles just to release the psoas. If you do a lot of sitting or computer work, this can be a miracle. And so feel free to incorporate it into your day. And then from center, slide the right foot in and back slightly, so you've got a shorter, more stable stance. Push down into the legs. Notice how pressing the pelvis forward gently allows the spine to stack, arms float up at the end. And then we reverse it. So hips go back, spine spills out of the pelvis, melting forward. And then to come back up, start at the legs, pushing down, just letting everything else follow. And as we repeat this a few more times, you do have the option to extend the front leg or keep it bent, whatever is serving you. This first round is really about waking everything up, making sure everything feels alive and supportive so we can start to challenge the body a little bit more in a safe way. Next time you float up, add in that little twist, spiraling in and out of that right leg. Allow the left hip to gently come forward as you twist into the leg. So there's a sense of the legs really participating, not just happening from the waist up. Then the next time you twist into the leg, scoot the back knee forward a little bit so you have a tight stance. Come a little lower into the leg, building a little bit of strength, and then press into the right foot, slowly lengthening the right leg so you can step the left foot forward with support and control. Take a moment to just pause with both feet under you and notice the sensations through the right side of the body, especially the right hip and the right leg. We'll just take one circle with each foot rolling over the foot and the ankle, and then bring the feet together Take a couple circles in either direction with the knees. And then bend the knees deeply, melt over the legs, plant the hands, step back to plank. Hug the right knee into the chest and let the right shin pendulum from side to side. Next time it comes towards the left side of the mat, plant the shin down. Slowly lower the right hip in a nice supported way, and then turn towards the long edge of the mat and tuck your left leg inside of the right. So you're back in Sukhasana. Back at the very beginning, we'll pause. You've got options. Have a sip of water, sit still, roll around a little bit. And by that I mean what Dana's doing. She's doing some interoception, and it's beautiful. And then we'll go to our next track. Okay, so round 2, we're gonna add some stuff in. That's all I'll say. I'll just let you experience it. So let's start with our circles, but this time lift the arms. So there's just a little bit more awareness of the core. The shoulders can be nice and soft. Yeah, you guys look great. Go the other direction. And then back from center, step the right leg off to the side. Nice easy twist to the right. And then plant the left hand over to the side. And this time as you lift the hips, option to extend the right leg and take a little bit deeper of extension through the right side of the body. And then lower the hips, stack the legs. And so now we've got our mermaid down dog. Plant the hands and slowly push into the tops of the feet, lifting the knees any amount. Drop the knees and go back to the beginning. So roll to the right, nice easy twist to the right. And then unfurl to the left, reaching along with the whole right side of the body. Let it feel really satisfying. And then drop the hips, stack the legs, hands down, mermaid down dog. You don't have to lift very high, but you can. And we'll do one last one. Starting with the twist. And then right lateral line extends. Slowly lower and stack. Mermaid down dog. And then from here, as the knees lower to table, go right into left leg back, right arm forward, just like we practiced before. Great. Drop the left toes. Nice circle towards the screen. Check in with the left arm. Make sure that that horseshoe shape is contacting the earth and not too much anywhere else. The next time the arm circles forward, plant the hand and then slowly lower the elbow. It's going to be pretty close to the knee, and that's okay. Bring a little extra weight into the right arm, and as you do that, allow the left leg to slowly lift. Let the toes turn out to the side and then maybe even up, externally rotating the hip, almost like Urdhva Chandrasana. And then slowly reverse that motion. So internal rotation of the left leg, toes come to the earth, and we're back to the beginning. So push up to your plank. Bring the left knee in, and we'll go into our mermaid down dog. So tops of the feet down, hover the knees, drop the knees, left leg back, right arm forward. Toes tuck under, big circle up and back with the right arm. Right hand drops, lower the right elbow, and slowly externally rotate the left leg. And internally rotate. We'll do this one last time. Toes come down, push into the right hand, glide the left knee in, and we're back at the beginning. Mermaid down dog. Knees down, left leg back, right arm forward. Drop the left toes, one big circle. Plant right hand, plant right elbow. Slowly externally rotate the left leg. And then we've got an option here. If you feel comfortable, tuck the right toes under, push into the right forearm, and lift for a tilted down dog, keeping the left leg up. If that's too much, lower the left leg, push into the right hand. If it feels good, pause there for a moment, and then push into the right hand, coming to a normal three-legged down dog. Let the left leg swing forward for the lunge. And then let's shorten the lunge. So hop the right foot forward a couple hops and let that right leg bounce because it feels good. And then once it feels like the right leg doesn't need to come forward anymore, let the toes stay on the earth, push down into the legs to slowly rise up, just like we did before with the knee down, letting one vertebra stack at a time. And then we twist into the left leg. Take a couple of pulses to the left. So we're in a short high lunge. The next time you twist into the left leg, pause there, get a little lower, and then imagine you're going to throw a frisbee with your right hand to someone behind you. Slowly push into the left leg as the body comes up, spiral the right arm all the way along the horizon towards the short edge of the mat, the other direction. Turn the toes and pause. So you should be facing me, hips are open to me. I'm going to demo that one time because not everyone made it there. So we're just going from here to here. And so as you're open in Utthita Parshvakonasana, pause for a moment, let both arms float, and then repeat that. And it doesn't have to be this full dramatic movement. It can be like a smaller twist to the left and then just a gentle spiral to the right, whatever the body's asking for. And the next time you coil up to the left, pause there. We're going to do that same action, but as we throw our frisbee, we're going to throw it in slow motion. So very slowly, start to unspiral, let the weight shift into the right foot, and as the frisbee releases from your hand, shift the weight into the right foot and just let that left leg hover. And then come back to the beginning and repeat that a few times until you get a little more confident with that left leg lifting. Both arms can start to reach over the short edge of the mat. If that helps you balance, they can also reach back. And we're just going right into a flying warrior. And the next time you're in flying warrior, pause there, bend the right knee a couple times so you're really springy. You don't have to be very deep into the pose. And then very slowly start to melt over the right leg. Plant the hands, let the left leg lift any amount for standing splits. And then bend both knees deeply, hug the inner thighs together, and slowly lower the left shin behind you. And then left hip goes to the left. You're going to roll onto the hips away from me and just massage the hips a couple of times. I'm going to turn so you can just see this one for the first round. You're just in like a figure four. And then we're actually going to go back the way we came. And so as that right foot, the top foot, starts to rock over to the left, plant the right foot, plant the hands to frame that foot, shift the weight into the right foot, slowly extend the left leg up. And then bend both knees, get really springy here. Let's drop the back toes so this first time isn't too intense. Power into the right foot to come back to standing, and then unfurl to the left all the way back to the beginning. Your hip is probably really tired, so this is your last round on our second vinyasa, so hang in there. So take a couple of pulses to the left, and we'll do that just one more time. And so throw the frisbee to the right, take a pause in flying warrior, and then bend the right knee, and slowly release over the right leg, standing split, bend right knee, slowly lower the left knee down, and roll over the hips facing away from me. Give a little extra love to that right hip. It did a lot of work, but I probably don't have to tell you that. And then allow the right foot to head to the left, just like how we got back to standing splits, but don't worry, we're not doing that again. Plant the hands inside of the right foot. Let the left leg unfurl behind you. Drop the knee, let the hips lower for a moment. Wag the tail a couple times. And then step the right foot back. Pause and plank. Draw the right knee forward and just let it swing from side to side. And then let it swing all the way to the left. Plant shin, plant right hip, and then turn to face the screen, left leg in front. All right, you did it. Pause for a moment. Empty your everything. Empty your mind, empty your body. Let the pathways of that movement just figure themselves out. Sometimes the second side goes even smoother. We can get out of the way. All right, here we go. Arms up. We start with our circles. And then go the opposite way. The next time you're up, left foot reaches out to the side, twist to the left. And then unfurl to the right, plant the right hand. Whole left side extends as much as possible. And then hips down, knees together. Plant the hands over to the right and take your mermaid down dog. And then drop the knees. Let the left leg glide to the left, going back to the beginning. So twist. Long left side. Hips down, legs stagger. Mermaid down dog. And one last round on your own. And then from mermaid down dog, drop the knees, and now right leg, left arm, shoot out. And then bring them back down, and actually no. So they shoot out, drop the right foot, slowly reach left arm forward, up and back. Plant the left hand, lower the left forearm, put a little extra weight into the left forearm, and slowly externally rotate the right leg. Think half moon pose. And then lower the right leg down. Take a couple of pulses like that. The next time the toes reach the earth, we'll push into the right hand, reach the left fingertips forward, up and back for that plank circle. Imagine doing this with both legs back. Soon it will not be a figment of your imagination. Plant the left hand, left forearm down, shift the weight into that left forearm, externally rotate the right leg. And then option to tuck the left toes under, push back to your three-legged down dog, or you can plant both hands and take the forearm up, whatever feels best. I really like this tilted version though. And then you've got the option to lower the leg down so it's a little easier to lift the left hand, or if you feel strong, you can just push into both hands, let that left arm extend, and swing the right leg outside the hands. Drop the back knee, let the hips soften for a moment, and then take your hops with the left leg. So just take a few bounces, letting the weight shift into the right leg. And you'll find a point where the foot just naturally comes down and it doesn't pull any closer. Pause there, push into the back toes and the front foot, and slowly guide hips forward so the spine can stack, arms up. And then twist to the right and just take a couple of these little pulses. And then get ready to throw a frisbee with that left hand. So the next time you twist, bend the knees a little bit more, crouch towards that right leg winding up, and then let all that energy express itself opening over to the left. Throw the frisbee and pause for a moment in Utthita Parshva Konasana. Actually, that's not where we are. Go back into the twist And now this time we're going to slow it down and balance on the left leg. So as you throw the frisbee, move really slowly, let the feet turn towards center, and then over to the left, let the weight shift, and the arms can reach overhead or they can reach back, whatever's easiest. And then go back to the beginning and let it be easy, right? Take as much time as you need. Maybe the first time the right foot just lifts an inch. You know, let your body learn how to support the left hip, how to balance. Nice. Everybody's moving at such a graceful, natural pace. Sort of look like you're doing really cool Tai Chi. I think you are. So the next time you come onto that left leg, pause there. And then slowly melt over the left leg. Bend the knee so this isn't too intense. Let the right leg reach up any amount. And then bend both knees, hugging inner thighs together. Slowly release the back shin down. And that can take as much time as you need. And the right hip lands. Legs stay crossed as you gently roll over the back of the hips. Give yourself a little massage. And then whenever you feel ready, you'll return the left foot to the right side of the mat. Unfurl into your standing splits. And then it's up to you. You can set the right foot down so it's a little bit easier to come back up to standing. And then go all the way back to the beginning, twisting to the right. And of course, you can hold anything. This can be as big or as small as you want. If the legs are feeling tired, don't feel like you have to repeat this as many times as I'm doing. After Flying Warrior, you've got your standing splits. And then bend the knees as if the legs are just softening, melting, deflating, so it's effortless. There's not too much muscular exertion. And then you roll over the hips to the left. And then slowly drop the sole of the left foot to the right side. Plant the hands inside the left foot. Let the right leg unfurl behind you. Drop the knee, drop the hips. Just let them melt. Don't think stretching, just think effortless. And then push into the hands, hover the left knee, and just let it tick-tock from side to side until the shin swings all the way to the short edge of the mat. Left hip down, and then right leg comes in front. And we pause. Feel free to close the eyes and just check in. You know, there were some big challenge moments, and so if anything's feeling a little tweaky or tight, make sure to honor yourself in the final round, and less is more. Feel free to grab a sip of water. And go to the next track. Okay, so we're going to go through the sequence a little faster. We won't repeat stuff as much so that we have more time for our peak flow, which you've already done the max of, but there will be a fun way that we repeat it. That will be a little bit different. So start by gently lifting the arms and just feel a lot of support and ease in the shoulders as you circle. Go the opposite direction. And next time you're at center, plant the right foot off to the side. Nice, easy twist. We're just doing this one time, so enjoy it. Plant the left hand off to the side. Big, long opening through the right side of the body. And then drop the hips, stack the legs, plant the hands. Mermaid down dog. And then drop the knees. Left leg back, right arm forward. Drop the left toes. So for this first round, we'll do it the way we did before, where we take a circle, right? You can do this in the second round, or we'll have the option to do it from a full plank. Plant the right hand underneath you, lower the forearm down, lift the left leg, and then lower the left leg Push into the right arm. Keep the right knee where it is or step it back for plank. If you're taking the full plank version, reach the right arm forward. Slowly reach it up. And as you reach it up, bend the knees a little bit, adding in a little plie here to take some of the weight off of the shoulders. And then continue the circle with the right arm, returning to plank. Drop the right forearm. Let the left leg fly into our tilted three-legged down dog. And then push into the right hand. Drop the left leg back to plank. We'll do it again. So shift the weight into the left hand. Right arm reaches forward, up and back. Swivel on the heels. And then bend the knees a little bit. Nice plie. Beautiful. And then as you circle back around, plant the right hand and then drop the right forearm. Let the left leg fly, tilted down dog. One last round. So push into the right hand as you drop the leg back to plank. Reach right arm forward, up and back. Add that little plie. And then plant the right hand, forearm down, left leg up. And then gently push into the right hand and let the left leg swing outside of the hands. Hop the back leg forward a couple of times. And then push down into the legs to slowly rise up. Take your twist to the left. Take a couple of pulses to prepare. And then slow motion, throw the frisbee with the right arm, shifting on the feet. And hover the left leg, flying warrior. Both arms can reach forward or back. And then bend the right knee. Melt over the leg. Left leg lifts. And then hug the legs together and drop the left shin. And now as the left hip lowers, just like we did before, as you roll over the hips, actually switch the cross of the legs. And so the left foot comes all the way over to the right side. Plant the hands and let the right leg unfurl. So you're back at the beginning, but the other direction. Drop the right foot, push down to the legs. Nice, easy twist to the left, and we do it again. Right arm throws the frisbee to the right side. Blast off into your flying warrior. Bend the right knee, melting down. And then bend both knees, lowering the left shin, rolling over the hips as you switch the cross of the leg. So left leg's on top as you roll all the way over. Plant the hands, standing splits opposite end of the mat. And then slowly release the right foot down. Push into the legs coming up. Last round. Twist into the left. Unfurl to the right into flying warrior. Melt over the right leg. And then bend both knees, lowering the shin down. Roll over the hips. And you can switch the cross of the legs. And then roll back and switch the cross of the legs again because it feels good. And so just roll from side to side. I'm sorry that you're facing away from me. The upper body can follow as the legs cross. You can allow the hands to gently melt from side to side. And the next time you roll to the left, plant the hands, step the left leg back, hover the right knee and just let it swing from side to side. And then swing it all the way to the left. Right hip down, cross the left leg in front, and pause. Okay, so no surprises. Now you know exactly where we're going. We're going to do that exact same thing on the second side, but just take a moment to observe the body, observe the breath. And as you're ready, you can lift the arms and make your circles. And now that you know everything we're doing, feel free to skip anything, to repeat things only one time instead of a few, add stuff in. This is your time to explore. Go the opposite direction with your circles. And then plant the left foot off to the side, easy twist to the left. Unfurl to the right, plant the right hand, let the whole left side lengthen. And then bend the left knee, lower the hips, Plant the hands over to the right, mermaid down dog. Drop the knees, right leg back, left arm forward, and then drop the right toes underneath, and we'll take our supported side plank. Left hand reaches forward, up, and back. You can do this in the second round, or you'll have the option to do full plank. Plant the left hand. Lower the right forearm. The left forearm down. And slowly push back into your three-legged dog, or you can keep the left knee down and just do those hip openers to the side. And then push into the hands, drop both feet, step back to plank, and now you've got your option for the full thing. So reach the left arm forward, up and back, let the heels swivel, and then just bend the knees a little bit so there's some ease here. Circle the left arm around, plant the hand, lower the left elbow as the right leg floats, and then right leg down as the left elbow lifts, and we'll do it again. Reach left hand forward, up and back, swiveling heels, little plie, come back around, left forearm down, right leg up, and then drop the leg as you push into the hand. Last round, left arm circles, add the plie, hand down, forearm down, leg lifts, and then push into the hand, straightening the left arm away from the mat and let the right leg swing. Drop the back knee and just pause for a moment, letting the hips melt, preparing for the final balancing sequence before we cool down. Shift the weight into the front leg and take your hops with the left leg until it finds that sweet spot where it feels really supported and natural. The next time the toes come down, push down into the legs, slowly rising up, and then twist into the right leg. Take a couple of pulses here, and then get ready to throw that frisbee with the left arm. As you're ready, you'll unfurl all the way to the left. We won't fly just yet. You can pause for a moment, and then come back to the beginning. Same thing, but we'll move in extra slow motion so that as we shift the weight into the left leg, we can take flight. Arms reach forward or back, it's up to you. And then bend the left knee, let the right leg reach up, standing splits. Bend both knees, slowly lowering the right shin, and roll over the hips to the left. Switch the cross of the legs as you roll. Plant the right foot, plant the hands to frame it, and slowly reach the left leg up into standing splits. And then drop the left foot, push down into the feet. And you're back at the beginning. So twist into the right leg, and then unfurl to the left, flying warrior, standing splits. Hug legs together, slowly tucking the right leg in, bringing it all the way down. And roll over to the left, switching the cross of the legs as you roll. Plant the right foot, unfurl the left leg. Drop the left leg down. Slowly rise up. Nice. Last round, you'll twist to the right, and then you know the way. Unfurl to the left. Take your flight. You can pause there as long as you like. And then whenever you're ready, standing splits. And hug the legs together. Slowly lowering onto the back. And for this last round, just pivot to face me. So the legs are crossed, but you can actually see me. And don't worry, you're not balancing anymore. But we'll just explore switching the cross of the legs, giving ourselves a little massage. And you can slow this down. And as the upper body comes into it, let the upper body just melt towards the mat and then ricochet back up. So there is just this sense of ease and softening. And the next time you roll over to the left, pause there, plant the hands, step the left leg back, and then step the right leg back. And hug the left knee into the chest, just letting it rock from side to side. And then all the way to the short edge or the long edge of the mat. Hip down, other hip down. You're back at the beginning, and this is a really intense song, so go to the next track because it's very soothing Tibetan singing bowls. And we'll take all of the energy that you've cultivated, all the warmth in your joints, and we'll just start to soften and cool down and come closer to the earth. If you would like a sip of water after all of that adventuring through our balancing sequence, you're welcome to. Great job, everybody. And so let's just start by bringing the soles of the feet together and plant the hands behind you. And gently squeeze the feet together so there is a sense of support and almost like inflation of the legs. And ever so gently lift and lower the knees. And just imagine this articulation massaging the hip socket. So it's really gentle and hopefully feels really soothing. If it doesn't, try bringing the heels further away from the groin so you have a bigger diamond shape. And then extend the left leg off to the side. Bring the right heel into the midline and just rock on the sits bones a little bit. Let the left knee bend if it needs to so that you feel a lot of ease through the legs and the hip. And walk the left hand to the right knee and just rainbow the right arm slowly up and overhead, just taking a nice easy side bend to the left. And then slowly come back up and just repeat that a couple of times, just gently waving in the breeze. So there's no sense of trying to reach the leg or trying at all, right? Just allowing. And the next time the body tilts towards the leg, option to bring the left arm down inside the leg, just pausing for a moment here, or just gently arcing the right arm down and up so that you can get some sensation through the right side of the body. Ooh, Satyam's doing some lassoing with his top arm. We did a lot of shoulder work, so if that would feel good, it does feel really good. Feel free to try it. Thanks. And then there's not a lot of stillness in my classes, so if you need a moment of that, feel free. And then push down into the legs, just like we've practiced so many times, and allow that pressure to slowly level the pelvis, and notice how the spine stacks one vertebra at a time. And then allow the hands to float down to either side of the hips, and just imagine all tension draining out of the body through the palms and the fingertips. And then we'll repeat that on the other side. So just taking a moment in Baddha Konasana, and you can do it the same way. Or if you do want a little bit more flexion, as long as it's not too much in the hips, you can fold forward. You can also slide the arms underneath the shins for tortoise pose, but release any sense of trying to push too deep here. It really can be injurious to the sacroiliac joint. So just be really mellow and kind, just soft. And then gently walk the hands back in, left heel in, right leg out. And just take a moment to rock on the sits bones, letting the right knee bend and extend a little, letting the body sway. And if this feels good, maybe this is all you need or want. You can continue to explore this or add in our twist. So right hand to knee and just lift the left arm, lengthening towards the right leg, and then just floating back up. And become aware of both sides of the body. And try to find a sense of length and support also on that right side. So it's not just about stretching the left side, but rather letting the body work as one whole. I'm enjoying bending my knee as I release to the right and then kicking into my heel as I come back up. And the next time you release, if you would like to pause, you can. You can bring the right arm inside of the right leg. A gentle pressure into the leg can just help you spiral open. And then whatever you want here, so just that arcing as if you're tracing the edge of, you're inside a giant pipe and you're tracing the edge with your arm. Or you can go into those lassos. And then eventually pause if you want to. And that doesn't serve all constitution. So really try to feel like, do I need stillness? And to come back up, dig down and right heel to the earth and push it away to slowly become a little more buoyant back at center. And just pause, let the hands float down, and just imagine all tension, physical, mental, energetic, just draining out of the body via the fingertips and palms. And then flick out the hands, symbolically letting go of all of that tension, and hug the legs in. You can hit pause on your music and we'll meditate a little bit and then we'll lay down. If you have a cushion or a blanket that you would like to sit on, feel free to grab it. So, this is when the stillness happens, right? We save the stillness for the end. And so as we come to center physically, notice your inner center. We start the class in this position, and so you have a really great litmus test to compare. And just notice if it feels different being here. Perhaps the mind feels different, the body, the sense of inner space. And we're going to work with our breath. And just like so many of our poses, we're going to try to let the breath be as natural as possible. No forcing, no directing, just allowing. And bring some extra awareness to the exhale, and just try to feel that sense of emptying and softening. And there's a natural pause after the exhale that sometimes we rush through. And so see if you can just be in that space of empty And then let the inhale naturally come to you as gently as possible, as if a soap bubble is just landing upon you. And the cycle repeats. Bring focus to the exhale. Let it be so gentle and soothing. You can even allow it to lengthen by just relaxing a little bit more. And then rest in that space after the exhale. And really try to surrender your control of the breath. I promise your next inhale is going to come. You don't have to seek it out. And just notice what it feels like as the next inhale gently arrives. And as you continue to focus on the exhale and the space after the exhale, notice any sense of the mind becoming more calm, the body becoming more relaxed. Our bodies are mostly space, and when we focus on the exhale and this natural breath, it's like we can start to feel that reality. Not being so tight and bound, just being a little more spacious and free. Can be hard just to focus on the sensation of the breath. And so the mantra hum sa is the perfect companion to this practice. Each inhale, listen for or repeat the syllable hum. And each soft, soothing exhale, sa. For the last couple of minutes of meditation, we'll work with a dharana that I've been working with, and this is just a very short, almost poem meant to help take us right to the fullest experience or realization of our being. This is Dharana 22 of the Vijnana Bhairava, an ancient yogic text. And the Dharana says, imagine a single point of your being as limitlessly spacious. Imagine a single point of your being as limitlessly spacious. You can repeat that to yourself, or you can just feel with it. We do have a couple of minutes, and so as you feel, just keep breathing the same way that we set up at the beginning of meditation. You can even continue with the mantra. We're just adding in another layer of inspiration as we open inside. Imagine a single point of your being as limitlessly spacious. You're welcome to stay upright for as long as you would like. You're also welcome to make your way into Shavasana. And because there were some challenging elements to our class, before you come to complete stillness, just notice if anywhere in your body needs a little extra love. I might recommend just gently rolling from side to side, either with the arms overhead, or even if you're not too bony, the arms underneath the body can just give a little massage to the outside of the shoulder and the chest. And you're also welcome to do anything that the body is asking for, but just little extra attention, making sure anything that worked really hard gets a little extra love and attention. You're welcome to do that as long as it's serving you, and then eventually you may find your way to stillness. And I'll just repeat the dharana one more time in case it helps you have a more blissful shavasana. Imagine a single point of your being as limitlessly spacious. Mm. As you gently arrive in the physical body and make gentle movements, just notice if you can maintain a sense of spaciousness. Babaji describes the inner dimensions of our being as even vaster than this physical universe. So with attention inside, the amount of space and freedom that we can find truly is limitless. When you arrive back at seated, and just bring hands to heart center, gently acknowledging your inner connection, your inner wisdom. Thank you so much for sharing this practice. Namaste. So good to practice with all of you. If you liked that dharana, I'm doing a presentation on Thursday for the Sangha that's based on limitless space, feeling limitlessly spacious. So if you don't already know how to attend those programs, you can email me and I'll send you an invite. Otherwise, hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Aloha. Dana, am I going to see you tomorrow? Cool. See you guys soon. Bye, Kelsey. How did the balance go after like having the whole sequence? Did your balance feel different? Yay, I'm so glad. Take care. Happy graduation next week. Hey Tammy, good to see you. Yay, I'm so glad. Aloha.